Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. There's so cool stuff going on energy wise. I know a lot of people have been feeling this like real low sensation lately, and we're finally getting to the other side of it. Many of us have found that there's been an increased need to assert your no, meaning this is not okay with me, whatever it is that's happening that I've been tolerating because I don't want to hurt any feelings and all this stuff. Realizing now that you can't actually hurt anyone's feelings. You don't make somebody mad. You don't make somebody happy. You don't make anybody anything. And and it's easier to realize that for a lot of people right now. So there's a lot more of this. I'm not going to tolerate anything that I'm not okay with. And so as a result, we're finding this pull away from this denser experience. So it's really exciting. Keep doing what you're doing. You got this, light warriors. I know we're not always warriors, but right now we feel like we're being a warrior. We're doing warriors kind of stuff. And so, welcome everyone for joining. We have Vegan Vixen here. We have Vanya. We have Kay, Adriana, Shirley, Genevieve, Fleur de Lis, uh, Lies Lote, Vanya, Mia. Hello, everybody. I did see a comment that I really quickly want to make sure I read. Um, is from Adriana. She says, "Hi, Pamela. Can you chat about the feeling sensation of a heartbeat in the solar plexus area?" This is a good topic. Thank you for bringing this up. It's a little different than heart palpitations for me. Thank you. Yeah, so it's similar to heart palpitations, isn't it? Like it feels like it has a heartbeat. It's like do 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 do, and often it's like quickly. Um, I've been noticing this for actually quite some time, on and off. Um, when I notice it, I'm usually pulling away from an energy that's not serving me. Um, Typically, it's somebody in front of me, like a physical, like a human, another person. From what I understand, apparently humans derogatory now. I don't even know. Um, I do know that the words that we're using of for everything isn't the correct word, because there's no words that actually apply to all this stuff. So let's talk about this. Um, so the heartbeat and the sensation, the coming online of the solar plexus, sacral and root. So we're talking about all these three areas, though you specifically addressed the solar plexus. Um, this is happening for all three of these lower areas, the lower part of your body. This root chakra, which is the base, so you have this in your pelvis region. And then you have your sacral chakra, which is below your navel, and just above your navel is the solar plexus chakra. So that's red and orange and yellow, or this golden color. So right now, more people than not are connecting to their solar plexus, which is amazing because so many of us have spent so much time of our experience focusing on like the crown and the third eye and stuff. It's like soon you start to wake up, you're like, open, open, open third eye. And it's this whole thing. And we all go through this process and we neglect these lower chakras. And so it's a way for one, for them to come onto online. And two, it's you sensing it while it's doing it. So it works both ways simultaneously. It's really cool. When I felt the palpitations in my solar plexus specifically, that's an excited feeling too, which I really enjoy. It's always a call for me to kind of sit in the energy. And so that's what I do. So everyone has their own path and their own way. For me, I want to welcome in that energy and take it in. So I'll sit in it and like I'll make sure I'm in a meditation state if I can. I'll go into a meditation and I'll pull on that energy through that chakra. So a lot of people will like visualize the light of God only coming through their crown chakra or their third eye. You can do wherever you want and allow that light to be guided to a specific chakra that is needed at this time. What's actually occurring truly is every chakra is getting this light of God into it. And we're just, and when we focus on it and kind of, that's creating an intention and a consent. So then it happens even stronger. When we do this, then you'll find that you actually coming online in a lot of different ways. A lot more skills come, a lot more tools, a lot more, what's the right word? Gifts, abilities. So this is happening for a lot of people. So thank you for mentioning it because a lot of people get scared. The heart palpitation and the root chakra is the one that freaks the most people out because it's like your genital area is heart beating right now. Like it's kind of a bizarre sensation. And it happens through all of the chakras. You'll notice it in your third eye. I've been noticing in my third eye a lot lately. Usually there's an electric charge involved before or after. You'll notice at the top of your head, at the crown chakra. You'll notice it in all the chakras. These lower ones, though, we give credence or value to their area and thinking that something's that's going to happen. So thank you for mentioning it. It's beautiful. Just ground it. Let the energy move through. Hello, everybody. So many people have joined since I've started talking. Welcome. Mia says, hello, beautiful people. And Pamela, love you all so much. Brave souls. Prithvi, hello. Hello, all. Blessing to you, Pamela. Blessing to you as well. Brian, great to be here. Good to see you. Carla, Running with Scissors. I love your name. I really love that book as well. The chest pain is worrisome. So the chest pain so you're talking about heart palpitations or chest pain? Because there is a difference. Heart palpitations, you feel your heart beating very, very quickly. And the sensation of pain, I have not found associated with this. Like it's surprising and it draws my attention, though there's not really a discomfort exactly involved. So I've had heart palpitations be so intense that I felt them in my lower rib. I just lost part of my bracelet my daughter made me on the ground. Oh, that's okay. So these are two separate things, and I just want you to be aware of that. If any of you have any kind of concerns, no one's saying not to go to the doctor. The doctors are there for a few things. Like in my life, I go there to be sure that I'm exactly, in alignment. And so, yeah, this is happening, and there's no medical explanation. If there's not a clear medical explanation, I also won't choose for me to take the medication because they don't know what's wrong, but here, have some of this. And so there's no way that I'll do that personally. No one's telling anyone what to do in that regard. Hello to everybody. Gitta says hello. She's from UK. Glad I caught this live. Carolyn, hi. So happy to be on. Prithvi, love you all. Hell's Morning Light Team. Sarah, hello. Happy Sunday to everybody. Happy Sunday. This is an amazing day. This day of 9. 9s have been everywhere. I don't know if anyone noticed the post I put up to let you know I was going to go live soon. And it was going to be 9 minutes. I thought that was pretty funny. Colleen, hello from St. George, Utah. I know St. George. Does the Ascension Symptoms affect your eyes? Yes. My eyes, especially my left. Interesting. That's your left. That's the divine feminine. Have been on fire, hurting like dry eyes. And eye drops have not helped the pain. Yes, this is really common, actually. I would say this is one of the most common right now. So what happens, because I had already gone through this personally last summer, I think. It might have been 2 summers ago. Anyway, I noticed first was that my eyebrow was twitching, and then this eyebrow was twitching, and then this eye started to twitch, and this eye started to twitch, and then it went down into the mouth, and then it was really annoying, and then it turned into like other muscle spasms and stuff in larger muscle groups in the body, and then I started to get this weird film that was coming off of my eye. Like it wasn't like goop. You know how sometimes you get really sick or whatever and you have like this goop? It wasn't this. It was something completely different. I couldn't figure it out. However, once this stuff finally left my eyes, then I was able to see more things at a higher frequency that I couldn't see before. Though before the goop happened, there was this real irritable, my eyes were like red, and felt like there was sand in them, and just there was something not right about them, and then things started to go in and out of focus. And so at first I thought, okay, maybe I need glasses. I don't have prescription lenses of any kind. And then I went into the ophthalmologist. I think that's what they're called, the eye doctor people, and they're like, oh, you have amazing vision. It's actually better than since you came last time. And then I started to notice that things were coming into focus, not out of focus. And that when we raise our frequency up to something that's vibrating up here, we raise our frequency. We do it like this. We're like we kind of move and slowly kind of get to that. That's how we move in our ascension energy wise. And so we were seeing things that we couldn't see before. And now there's evidence of this all over the planet right now. Oh, Stacy, thank you so much for the donation. You're such a sweetheart. I really appreciate it. And thank you all, for all of you like who have been donating and supporting me in every way that you have been. I really appreciate it. This support is what makes it so we can get this message out to other people. This isn't designed to make it so I can live a luxurious life. I don't need luxury. I'm just, in order to continue to do this work and to make it so other people can get these messages out, this support is making it so that's possible. So I really thank you for that. To finish the thing about the dry eyes from Miss St. George over here. St. George is a powerful place. I'm really impressed that you're there right now. It's also really dense at this moment. Like there's a lot moving through and out of that place. So very fascinating. I would be interested to hear how your experiences have been over there. Is that this will continue to move through and you will be able to see more things. You'll be starting to see, like at first you start to see, I would say it's usually from the left side, but it can be from the right, where there's just like this motion. I was going to say moving thing and then also motion. This motion happening, you can see something move, and then you will see it as like a shadow often first. So not be alarmed. Shadow does not mean bad. Shadow does not mean bad. Just because it's a darker color does not have anything to do with what it is. This is what tells you if it's a shadow. And then we call it shadow because dark light, it's the thing. Again, another limitation with our language. Often we see a shadow because we haven't been able to fully tune into that frequency to see the detail within. Another way we would see it is we see like the silhouette around a person of a little faded white aura. That's something else that we see. We see these flying orbs of light. They don't have to be big. They can be teeny tiny. They come through and they move through. Then we see, a lot of times we'll see eyes. Like with our eyes closed, we'll see sets of eyes. Often they're kind of peculiar and we would call them alien-like or even monstrous. And they're not. They're just different types of humanoids and energies that are connecting with us. So thank you for your comment, Colleen. Vanya, Hells, good. Oh, she's talking to somebody. Tor says, can you talk a little bit about the white dragon? White dragon. So I'm actually not really all that educated, but I can tell you my experience when it comes to the white dragon or any kind of dragon, is that there's been, okay, so he's 12 right now. There's been so many different, okay, on the planet, we have so many humans, right? And out of all those humans, this many are not nice, right? And the rest are, or at least impartial, and this is the same for all of these other energies. And there's been a really bad rap given to all the dragons and all these because of the reptilian thing. And turns out the reptilians were not even nearly as involved as these spider guys that are like being moved out now. The spider guys are related to the Nephilim in some way. And I'm only just been getting these downloads the past couple of nights due to during the 7/7 portal, the very beginning of it, in the very late night, early beginning of the 7/7 portal, the Soulology, Todd and Morgan went live and talked about some of this stuff. And I was like, bing, 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 bing. Oh my goodness. And so there's just so much coming through and healing through that. Anyway, so just to clear all that out, that not everything is bad. These white dragons, a lot of them have been laying dormant or out of sight as rivers, showing themselves as being rivers. And they just kind of, that's where they've been in a place of rest. And now they're kind of coming out. They're coming forward. A lot of us in astral will find that we're either finding ourselves as a dragon or a dragon rider. It's just a thing. I remember telling somebody about it a few years ago. I was like, I've been riding this dragon. And it was this big, we can't talk about that yet, and like, we can talk about everything now. Isn't it amazing how we can just say whatever it is anymore? There's so much cool stuff about this dragon race that is beautiful and here to help us. They're very wise, and they bring forward a lot of knowledge, and also some understandings that we had hidden from us, kept safe from us, involving this druid knowledge. The druid and the Fey realm are the same place. And like I hadn't actually put that together previously or beforehand. So it's really fascinating to see all this coming through. I really don't know what else to discuss about it because there's such a big topic. This is probably a good video topic to have. Thank you for bringing it up, knowing that if you're interacting with any energy that is you don't know if it's good or bad, send out an I love you. This place right here, when we think to ourselves, when we're about to say I love you to somebody we love a lot, you know that feeling that you get right here that just goes to them right before you even say it with your mouth, with your words. That is the I love you vibration that I'm talking about. Sending out that I love you vibration to anything that comes into your sphere. This will help you discern who they are and who they're not. So if they are of love, if they're light, then they will send back that love times like 10. It's just like, oh, yes, thank you. If they are not of love, they will flee, for shadow cannot stand before the light. And that's what this is about. So allowing yourself to use that skill and that tool to interact with these energies will assist you. Often, if we present with fear, that of love will flee. They'll flee because they don't want to hurt you. They don't want to freak you out. That's why all this stuff's been so gradual. It's not because they're trying to make you work on your patience. They're truly trying to make it an easier road for you. So just that those are some ideas and things to do. Carmen, good to see you, brother. He says, I'm eating while watching. Greetings, fam. Carmen, are you drinking juice? Carmen likes to show us his juice making skills. Mia says, oh, she's talking to somebody else. Hello, everybody talking to each other. So good to see everybody connecting. Waking Beauty says foot pain. Yeah, okay, foot pain and palm, but the foot has been happening. So as soon as I started to know the foot again, it was just a couple of days ago. As soon as I started to notice that again, then right after, something happened to me. I noticed that at the top of both of my ears, right behind, there was some type of hard thing. It was the most bizarre thing. And then I feel like that it was actually implants leaving because they were identical, and what came out of it wasn't, it was anyway. And then the same thing on either eyebrow on the edges here. So this is something that happened, that we're having happen. When our feet are starting to hurt like they are right now, I'm finding all of a sudden the need to connect with water. And then we're like, oh wow, water's so grounding, right? I forgot, and like, so it's kind of guiding us to do that. Also, most of the toxins in your body want to leave through the soles of your feet. Like they'll do the hands too, but they really, really want to leave through the soles of the feet. You have your body waste that you can, evacuate through your excrement. However, there's this other toxin that can't leave through the pores. Like it's trying, right? We have these really weird zit-like things happening and weird, sweat and stuff. The best thing that we can do is to connect with water and with soil, walk on it, sitting on it, the ground, having your feet planted on the ground in grass and sand, in dirt, whatever it is that you have available to you. There's got to be a patch of something nearby, and allowing yourself to just put your feet on it. Sometimes we'll bring soil into the house so we can set our feet on it. This will help draw the toxins out. Another thing, most of us do is that the vast majority of our herbal remedies are delivered through foot soaks, so keeping that in mind too. Allowing yourself to get, any kind of container that you can put your feet in where you don't feel like you're going to hurt your toes too much, big enough for your feet to fit in like that. And then just add whatever it is you feel like will help. I've been using a lot of dandelion. Dandelion is a detoxing agent. Dandelion is an amazing tool. You don't have to have it naturally. You can buy dandelion tea at the grocery store. You can get it online. There's a lot of places you can get dandelion. This helps us to detox. I know that there was one time that I felt the need to detox so much in the middle of winter. And what I actually did was I had prepared ahead of time some dandelion, and I just put it in like cheesecloth and just stuck it up against my foot and then put it on a sock and just kind of chilled out like that for a bit. And it changed everything to black. Like it was almost black, probably dark gray. And so it just pulled all of that stuff out. So this is the reason. This is truly it. And the more that we walk upon the earth, that you'll notice like actually the earth. once you walk more, the more that you do that, the more that you'll notice the symptoms going away and kind of feeling more in balance. Thank you for your question. Stacy, hola, beautiful. Hello, sweetie. It's so good to see you. Sarah, Colleen, yes, I got some weird eye dryness. Like there's a film over my eyes. Yep. That's exactly what I was talking about. Ice lolly cravings. This is Stacy. Yeah, you know what is funny? A lot of us have been noticing the need for more liquids and different kinds, not simply water. Water is really, really important. I know there was a minute there I was like, dude, is water dehydrating me? It just felt like the more that I drink, the more that I just needed it. And it's not that it's dehydrating you, it's that your body's saying, close, but could you add something to that? We need some tea. We need some juice. We need these other things that we get from liquids, and so we started to do that. And along with that too, I've been noticing this really weird thing. We've been getting this Buddha belly, right? So like the belly is just growing and it doesn't make a lot of sense. We haven't really changed in fact, most of us have decreased our intake in food. But somehow we had this Buddha belly. In the past 2 days, my body's like, evacuate the liquid. And it's been so funny to just watch my body, my tummy go, and it's just this, we're all doing this right now. We've been taking in this water. The more water that you contain in your body, the easier it is for this plasma, this light to move through and assist us. Remember that we're coming out of dormancy, people. We've been a body that has been the mass majority of the DNA that makes up who you are has been sleeping, some kind of slumber. And so now as our DNA comes out of dormancy and activates, then there's like this ching, 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 ching thing that has to happen in order for everything to kind of fall into alignment and do what it needs to do. And while that's happening, this plasma that's assisting us to bring that up is guiding us to also contain more water so it's more efficient. And so we're needing a lot more liquids. And I'm noticing too, when it comes to the food thing, that we've talked about it a little bit in our Telegram group. Anyone who's interested in that group, by the way, that doesn't have the link, it's in the description of this video. You can click on the link to our Telegram group. There's like, I don't remember how many of us there are there anymore. There's several hundred, 20 or like 300 or so. It's 12:22. Dude, every time I look at the clock. And so this is a good way to connect to people and kind of get all of this. And I forgot my thought because I got distracted by it's twos again. It's twos everywhere. Yeah. So if that thought's meant to come through, I'll remember it again. I'll continue to read on. That's so cool to have all of you here. Thank you all for joining me. And thank you for hitting the like button. I really appreciate that. I don't like to be the person to say that, though. I find that when people have liked so many videos, I get this notification on my YouTube and it says, awesome, now we can let more people watch it. And it's like, so they start suggesting it to more people and more people can find out that they're not alone. So it's like hesitated participants. Hello, beautiful people, says Spiritual Warrior. I'm glad I made it. I'm glad you made it too. Welcome. Feeling the heart in the uterus, Lies Lote says. Yes. This is so fascinating how this is happening. And it's just like, and it's you feel a heartbeat. You feel the pulse of it. And the pulse that's happening is an activation, allowing yourself to activate and to just be okay, knowing you're safe, nothing bad's happening. And then you can remain in that place of peace and love. And then you can really enjoy the show. It really helps. 90s travel machine. I've been upgrading nonstop and I had something weird happen with my teeth. I coughed up a mini crystal and it freaked me out. My name is Leslyn and I am having a lot of symptoms happening. Well, nice to meet you, Leslyn. Welcome. First of all, I completely identify with what you're talking about. Everyone of us have been having this stuff with our teeth at some point. We have it in the same group. So there's like, it's just because you haven't had a symptom that I've mentioned doesn't mean that it's not something that won't happen with you. And also if you've had it happen already, it's not you're ahead of me and I'm ahead of you kind of thing. It's just, this is where we are in this shift as we move up. And so a lot of us did at first have this thing, and then it started to be this whole throat chakra thing. So it ended up being like the sinuses, the mouth, the throat, the thymus and the thyroid, all this stuff all at the same time. For me, my teeth started to decide they wanted to have gaps. Never had they had gaps before. And they started to separate it. Actually, unfortunately, damaged some of the teeth behind it. And while that was happening to me, I'd mentioned it, and like 18 people, I think, all were having that happen simultaneously. This has to do with this throat chakra coming online. There's also dental trauma has been a thing, mouth sores, a variety of things to do with the mouth, gums, throat. By the way, the gums, we've been getting this headache, this sinus headache that's also affecting the third eye. So it's like a sinus thing and the third eye pressure, and then the upper gums. And like it happened in the same moment as we were getting that big X-class flare, but then it's happened since. And a lot of other people have talked about this gum thing, so the gum of your mouth doesn't always have to be the top one. There's been people who've said there's the lower gums and also the lips having just this weird swelling, and then it just goes away. It doesn't feel very great when it's happening. And I've noticed the heartbeat. I've noticed the pulse in my gums when it was happening too. So with this, I have found, and this is the purpose, this was the reason that I created these Friday Zoom meetings where people can come and join and talk, is that as soon as we start to use our throat chakra more, starting to speak our true authentic self, we can start to heal through these things, and these things go away. They almost go away completely. They'll come back a little bit here and there as we're learning to adjust our frequency and find that space. However, while this is happening, it really helps to join groups like this or other groups. Doing what you're doing now, typing in the chat and saying this is what I'm going through, helps a lot, as well as in your comment section, people connecting with each other in that way. Speaking your truth, being your true authentic self. Remember, most of us have multiple lifetimes of persecution, creating the need to create barriers upon barriers upon barriers upon barriers in this throat chakra area. And so a lot of us have, had experience with thyroid related stuff, thymus related stuff, throat, mouth, dental. All of these areas have been a focus in this lifetime, not even fully realizing it. And so as we start to heal through these things and allow ourselves to speak our true authentic selves, to speak our truth, and also to stand in our no. This has been a thing that's happening the past couple of weeks. It's just like things that you've been tolerating for months and years or whatever, however long, all of a sudden it's like, you know what? No, I'm done. It's 111. There's 111 people here. I'm just done. I'm no longer going to tolerate things that are unacceptable. I'm no longer going to put myself in a frequency that isn't okay with me, that doesn't feel good. Why? Why did we do that? I've actually forgotten why, and it's become so easy to say no, to stand in my no, to be like, doesn't mean I don't love the person. I love everybody. I also am now showing that I love me, and that for you to do the same thing is exactly that. And when you tell the universe that you love yourself, then all of a sudden your world changes. Like, dude, the peace and the joy that gets to be experienced on this side, it's beautiful. So thank you for that tangent that I was able to talk about that. So Vegan Vixen, I was awoken on Friday night by an intense, I'm 64 and I have been celibate. Oh, I see. Sorry, I didn't know what that meant for a second. I'm 64 and I've been celibate for over 20 years. It was very uncomfortable. I didn't like it. What was that all about, please, Pamela? That sounds actually what we're talking about. This lower chakra finally opening up, getting that pulse, getting that frequency. Some people have experienced it as actually, uncomfortable. It's just really intense. And you'll also sometimes feel it like in your actual ovary when it's first opening up, and that it's like you're sorry if this offends anyone. I hope it doesn't. You'll feel like your ovaries like, ow, 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 for each time until you're finished with that whole process. And then as you clear that out, it's like you're clearing out energy. You're clearing out And we're being drawn to dig our energy now that you've done this. We're being drawn to dig our energy like a root down through the soil into the ground, and to allow that whole line of energy from God down into the ground to be connected to Gaia's heart. And so this is part of this encouragement of just send that energy out. Some of us have found excuse me, through such stimulation, it's become more easy to send this energy out. See, the thing is, most of us have been historically trying to send the energy down and open our root chakra by the means of our tailbone. And this is a dense, closed space. And so it hasn't really been able to flow very efficiently here. And so this way, between your pelvic bone and through the center of your pelvic bone, is the most efficient and easy way to do that. Whether it be through this is what we're talking about specifically, or just sending the energy through breath and visualization through that area, that portal space of your body. I found that I had it more than once before I was like, I could feel that was dug. The energy has been dug now down into the ground. And so I'm able to feel like it's moving and in motion. And so that's really cool. I hope that explained something that you're in your question there. Vanya says gums and tooth trouble past week. Yep. You're welcome, Colleen. Love your information. Thank you so very much. You're welcome. I'm really happy that you're able to join today. Wayne, I see eyes a lot with closed eyes. That is your caller ID. I call it this caller ID. It's like a spiritual caller ID. So what happens is, so these eyes will come into your view. They're like, shoot, eyes. And it's just like, sometimes like, what? There's more. And it's kind of because you don't know what's happening, right? And a lot of them will have like, their skin looks like it's made up of rocks, and so they look kind of like, but they're not. They're actually really nice. They'll have yellow eyes and stuff. These are people coming in to say it's like your phone ringing, and you're looking at the caller ID. Nah. Or you can engage, and how you engage is that you focus into their eye, and you get very close to, like, because you can zoom, and when you're not using your physical eyes, zoom into their eyes, and that's like a answer the phone call. And you can interact with those energies if you choose. This is just a telepathic conversation. We're all connected. Like, not only just on this planet, we step above the planet and we see like this beautiful like web of white light that of all the connections and stuff. And then you also see all the connections that are going up and out everywhere. And at first you would think that those are all the line of God that it's moving down from people to people, but it's actually connections to the ETs and all the different energies out there who are all connected to you. And it's really cool. Then there's the amazing highway of light that just kind of goes and it's really thick, and then it just out to everybody from God. It's really cool. So being connected in this way, we're going to have an exchange of an energy, and you can choose to decline the call. I do. I would like to have a do not disturb because I like my sleep, and I'm getting really tired these days. Colleen, I have a session with you August 10th. Looking forward to talking to you. St. George is beautiful and hot. Awesome. I look forward to talking to you too, Colleen. That's really fun. Yeah. This area that you're in, the red dirt, it really draws the orange color, like those are those chakras that really need assistance right now. So people would be called to that place, and just to be out in that energy when they're able to, in order to help heal these chakras. It's really cool. Deb says, era of peace helps me too. That's awesome. Carrie, it's good to see you, sweetie. Hello. Vanya, are we moving at an extreme speed or what? I know, right? It's so amazing. It's gotten better and better. It's just going to keep getting, we've crossed this, the precipice. We have passed this threshold. And now we're in this new frequency energy. We're just leaving behind the eerie silence part of that channeled message for those of you who were there for the channel message. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Seriously. Okay. Every time I look at my clock, it's funny. I can never catch it. I try to catch it when it's a weird number. It's kind of a game. Anyway. So we are moving at extreme speed, and time is speeding up. Time is speeding up very, very rapidly. In fact, it's fun because it actually talks about this in the Bible. It says, for the elect, there will be the shortening of days for the elect. I can't remember the wording. It's in like the book of Matthew. I think it's like 20s. put 20. I'm not very versed in the Bible, though I find it very fascinating how many of the things that we're experiencing is written in some way in that document. Not to say that everything in there is correct. I'm sure that it's been. Hello from Subziffy. When I relax and look at any light source, it looks like it's pulsating, getting brighter and darker. Started happening some months ago. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That doesn't make a lot of sense. And we're actually connecting to these things. We're choosing to let it be what it really is. Then you get to start to see what it really is. And what's more is that we're starting to notice that these light sources aren't as singular as we've assigned them to be. And not simply light bulbs, but also suns that are in our atmosphere and in our world, and just moons and different type of. It's really fascinating when you look up at the night sky without the moment of trying to logic anything. There are other large bodies of light up there that aren't identified in any kind of astronomer's book. It's really cool. Vanya says lots of dreams and new realms. It's really weird. Traveling at night and then just out in the morning. Yep. Most of us, when we're in sleep, we're dreaming. We're actually in astral. We're in astral doing work, and we're being trained, or I don't know, debriefed. I don't. There's always a committee of beautiful beings that are helping us. And as this is happening, a lot of us will notice that more and more where we wake up and need a nap from our sleep because we're just so tired. We just did so much work last night, and then we just get to go again. The level of exhaustion has kind of hovered. I feel like rather than exhaustion, it's changed. What my sensation is, it feels like I'm just waking up. I'm one of those people, by the way. My kiddo knows this. Just leave me alone. I'll be there. I mean, like, I'll say hi and I'll snuggle and stuff. But for the most part, nothing important needs to cross my path for the first 20 minutes to an hour. And that's just how, and I'm just kind of grounding in the energy. What's interesting is that the past couple of days, my whole day has felt like that, where it's just like, so, I mean, it's too high of an expectation to expect that I won't be interacting with others in the way that, like, I just like quiet when I'm first waking up, and I can't provide that for myself right now. So I feel like I'm just waking up all day for like 3 days now. It's become very crazy. Stacy, hey y'all, so much pain here still. I went to Cairo and he did a fascia work on my left side. I cried and dreamt that night I could fly. Woke up without anxiety. Awesome. That's so cool. You woke up without anxiety. I'm really happy to hear that. I'm sorry that you're in so much pain. A lot of people are really struggling, and it depends on where they are. So I don't know how many of you are aware of Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon's 3 waves of volunteers. It's not an absolute science. Like, she gives dates and what year you're born kind of thing, and that will define whether you're first waver, second waver, or third waver. And I found that most first wavers are having the hardest go of it right now, particularly in the lower abdomen area. All of us are having this sensation, though it seems that the first wavers are having it the most intense. Second wavers are in the middle, and then the third wavers are, like, for the most part, non-existent, but occasionally they'll have a surge of discomfort there. And so it's something interesting and helpful to kind of look at, so you can see maybe where you're at and kind of find an expectation for it. I don't know. Expectation is not the right word. Just kind of having an idea of what to expect. I don't know. That's not even right either, but you know what I mean. I'm sure. Eons ago, humans and spider beings had huge wars, and apparently it's why people generationally are so scared of them instinctively. Very fascinating. Thank you for sharing that. I'm actually really fascinated by this newly introduced. I haven't done any kind of research or watched any videos or anything like that. It's just the stuff that's come in. So I really appreciate your validation. This is stuff that just been popping in the past couple of days for me, and just the understanding that the Nephilim is leaving, and this motion, this connection to the spider group is very pronounced. There's this amazing thing that's happening with this group. So remember we talked about zoology and how Todd Medina had gone live with Morgan, and they had talked about this. They're also doing something today. I don't know if there's any seats left, but they're doing a release of the Nephilim coding session. I'm going to be in attendance as a participant. I'm really excited to see this release for us to finally remove ourselves from the trauma and the connection to this victimhood. The more that we pull ourselves away from being a victim and finding the power of who we truly are, the more that we realize that we already are liberated, and that our captors have been our captees, that they've been our prisoners, and keeping them here, they're like uh, caged animals. They want to get out, but they don't expect that you're going to let them. I've had this experience for a while, and this has been the message from Archangel Michael. I just didn't understand it completely for what it is. You remember the message that he's always saying is to acknowledge these things as they move through without judgment. For judgment actually keeps it in place. It locks it in like unable to move. And so we don't judge it. We don't decide how it applies to us, how it doesn't apply to us, whether it's good, bad, any of those things. We acknowledge it without judgment and release it. Let it go. Just let it go. Like, you don't owe me anything. I don't owe you anything. I am uninvested. Like, as if this interaction didn't really even happen, in whatever logical way we can logic that to kind of get to that spot. And then it does. And then it does. And not only does it go, but it just sends back this enormous, amazing sensation of gratitude, of thank you, and of joy, and of freedom and liberation. And then we get to feel that too. We no longer need, we've been feeling that when we felt trapped. And so it's just really exciting. Anyway, so I'm going to do this clearing in a couple of hours too. So I'll let you know how it went. I hope that some of you can join. Kanda Moon, hello, welcome. Good to see you, sweetie. Amy, yes, foot and toe pain. Yep. And also hands and fingers. This is just like, some of us have noticed, like, it kind of felt like almost like carpal tunnel. It had moved down into this space just for a moment. And then as it moved through, then it moved back up. And all of a sudden, our healing hands, like, I mean, the sense of moving your hands close to each other, this trying to touch each other's, it's amazing. The healing hands and the healing feet too. We walk the earth, we are healing her. We're recalibrating her. She's taking our positively charged ions, which are disharmonious for your form, for my form. She's taking them gratefully, and then we're exchanging, just like in any kind of exchange or Reiki or balanced energy exchange that we do. And so while we're doing that, we're healing her. And so we're being asked to walk upon the earth. And these little microscopic crystals that were like dragon scales that nothing can get in, now are being pulled up as we walk the earth. And they fall a little bit, though. Now the light can get in. These teeny tiny little, they look like diamonds. They're shaped like a diamond shape. They're flat and thin and tiny. We see them in the air. Some people call it sky glitter, where you see like the light that sprinkles in the air around you, and the sunlight, sometimes in the moonlight. Those are these crystals too. They're like the mushrooms of the forest. They're the messengers. They're how this information, this telecommunications or psychic communication, it's followed through all of these amazing little beings. So I got on a tangent again. I love those guys. It's so much fun. I'm glad you mentioned that. Pardon me. Wow. Colin, hello. Hi, Pamela. I think I get it. I get it now. Unwanted entities bend themselves into your energy as if not separate beings. You literally can't know who you are until you separate. Yeah. Good job. This has turned on a light for me. I feel like I've never known who I am. Never had this feeling before. Oh, Colin, I'm so happy for you. Pardon me for a moment. I've been getting that occasionally. This thing is just like right at the top of the lungs the past couple of days, and I don't know if anyone else. Colin, I am so happy for you. Like celebrations and glory be. I am so excited. So, yes, as we pull away from what we're not, then we can become who we are. We don't even really know that this whole time, like all of this other stuff that we were bothered by, and we knew that we were out of alignment. We just didn't know exactly that's what it was because we weren't happy. There was something off or wrong. And then when you finally pull away just far enough out of the energy that isn't yours, then you get to find out for the first time who you are. And you get to find out that you are peaceful, loving, calm being, that all this other stuff that's been just that you just didn't want in your experience and was just kept coming and coming had nothing to do with you exactly. You get to pull away. I'm so happy for you, Colin. Congratulations. Awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. You got this. You got this. That's so cool. All right. So, Wayne, today I did a journey with my team and heard and felt the words Gateway Guardian. Did 3 healings of the Akashic. It was so easy. One was a bit fearful. Then I didn't feel it once completed the task. I don't know if I passed a Gateway Guardian to access the Akashic or if I'm a Gateway Guardian. I have usually found that when there is a name like that given, it's either introducing someone who's about to then you see right away, or they're telling you, giving you a clue of who you are. Because you're many. We've come from many. And so, like, I remember Arcadian for me was Archangel Michael greeted me and he called me an Arcadian. And I was like, mm-hmm. And then this whole thing, understanding came. And so, yeah, for you to understand that you are a Gateway Guardian, what does that mean to you? And to kind of explore that a little further. It's really fun. All of the stuff that's in our experience right now is all these breadcrumbs trying to help us to understand, to remember, to recall all of these things back to us and to figure out. The most important part of remembering who you are is remembering what it felt like to be you, what it feels like to be you, and that is to be powerful and confident and assured, able and capable, knowing that whether or not you have immediate access to something, informationally speaking, that it will be there. You know that when you fall, there is no fall to be had. It is flight. It is being caught. And those experiences are meant to remind you of this confidence, this ability to stand in your power, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, to stand in your power and say, I am worth it. I am better than this. There's a place that we have been going where what happens is it's like when you go in these little bubbles of gray stuff, that it drains the color from us, from our world. And we've been doing that for so long, thinking that we were helping. So this draining never stops. There's never an end. These individuals can never be filled up, for they have opened up. There's nothing to contain it. And so we're pulling ourselves away from these places that are siphoning the color from the world from us, and allowing ourselves to stand in our power and to know that you're worth it, that you are lovely and appreciated and honored by many, that your service being provided to the world and the galactic realm is held up on high, and so thank you all for your service and everything that you've done and that you're still doing. Which segues, does not segue into, as anyone else constipated. So this is I'm not finding this. There was a moment that I was feeling like I was, though I was obviously not. Many of us, there's either the people who are feeling constipated or those that are having IBS-like symptoms, and often they coincide, meaning that you feel constipated, stuck up. However, there's a obvious flow occurring. So this is a really common thing that's happening right now. This is also, again, we're going back to these lower chakras, the 3 chakras of the root, the sacral and the solar plexus, that have been unaddressed for so long and just kind of ignored, like a neglected child, and so we're being asked to, give them attention, spend time in meditation and working on these chakras and letting yourself dig this energy. Earlier, we talked about somebody who hasn't had, I know that there's some words I'm not supposed to say on YouTube, or otherwise I'll flag it and remove it. So I don't know. But, and it's a sexual release experience for a long time, and then they're starting to have it. And this is actually really common too. This is another way that this is happening. So it's the pent up energy that's moving out and moving down through the pelvic area and leaving through us and then guiding it. So it's not kind of this energy leaving doesn't mean it's no longer with you. What I mean by that is that it's a ball. It's a ball. I'll use this string, I suppose. It's a ball of energy that's like this, and you don't even realize. So this is coming from God, and we don't even realize that it's a ball. And we've been like, okay, yeah, sending the energy down, and then it's stuck up here. And so what we're doing now is we're finding that we need to dig all the way down. That's a longer string than I expected. All the way down into Gaia, and connecting to our heart center, and then connecting directly up to God. Now we have this straight string, this straight energy. And so this is just something that's happening to a lot of people right now. So allowing yourself to do that in meditation is what I'm trying to say will assist a lot of these bowel symptom related stuff. Those who are having an IBS kind of thing is a different part, but it's similar. Many of us are also noticing that we need to expel toxins that we've been collecting in our body. And not just from this lifetime, your mother's, so your grandmother's toxins are in your body too, because the egg that became you was in your mother's belly while she was in her mother's belly. And so all of the toxins from these generations are in our body. And so we're needing to expel them. And, not to mention what we've picked up along the way. I for one, spent several years very much into fast food and those types of toxins and preservatives and just all kinds of stuff that my body is trying to get rid of. Oh my goodness. I've missed so many new messages. I jumped all the way down. I've completely lost my spot. For anyone who had written something important, or I'm sure all of your comments are important. However, someone who would like to bring up something that I had missed, please feel free to write it again. I'm going to go from the bottom up, I think. Alex says, and I feel like both of them are reincarnated into the third brother because I think I might have missed part of it. I think Alex got a couple of things here. Do you think two dogs? What I don't understand this question. So I think that this is a cool conversation for you all to have with each other. I probably would address it if it was not so long and we were near to the end of this live. But I think what you're saying is the reincarnation is it possible for all of them to, yes, we go everywhere. We become all things. We can be all things. We've been elements. We've been air. We've been dirt. We've been all of these things. We've been insects. We've been, cats, dogs, lions, and so on. We've been all of those things and more. Most of us have been a variety of ETs over and over again. And as we do move through this incarnation into the next, we do tend to want to try some variety. A lot of us were kind of caught on this loop for a little while that was coming back and coming back. It's kind of like when you're playing a video game. Oh, didn't get it right. And then all of a sudden there's all this trauma to heal. And so this particular lifetime, a lot of us have come in and have chosen to pick up more trauma than we would have in order for us to heal the trauma that hasn't been healed, to help people get the relief, in order to give them the chance to succeed. Because what happens is when you haven't healed a trauma in one life, you come back into the next life and you have a similar trauma in order to draw attention to that trauma. And it builds up, and then it builds up, and the snowballs so much that it becomes too much for any one individual to heal. So people like a lot of us that are here today have actually come in collecting all this trauma and are healing it. And so we picked up this trauma for this lifetime, but we're healing the trauma for everybody else. And that's why for a lot of you, you're noticing you're having ancestral healing that has nothing to do with your ancestry, because it doesn't. most of this trauma that you've connected to, that you've linked onto to heal, is actually to do with historical experiences long ago that have nothing to do with your family relations. And so is also true for our distant family healing as well. Though it's just most often I'm finding that it's not. It's really cool. Oh, pardon me, I'm just having this thing right here. Stacy, I'm second wave, but flu it was great. Bless you. Thank you always. Of course, Adriana. And then Stacy says, fascia movement is moving muscle to release trauma as it gets stuck in organs and muscles. Thank you for your comment. That's really cool. Eric, I can't type fast enough to validate, agree with everything you were saying. Oh, thank you very much for saying that, Eric. I appreciate that. I like the validation. I like the name Tickling Monster. Hello, welcome. Good to see you. Fleur de Lis, I watched a fascinating video, An Awakening Through Hypnosis, 588 Alba Weinman. Big reveal of light. This video gives hope. Well, thank you for sharing that. There's a lot of cool activating things that are finally coming out that we're being made to have access to finally after so long. It's so awesome. Christine, Thursday afternoon energy was intense. Yes, it was. Holy cannoli. Heart palpitations are intense. I had to sit still for about 4 hours. Guides assured me it was related to Ascension. Anyone else? Yep. Thursday was a big day. It was a big day for sure. And it was like the pre, 7/7 portal and all this stuff. And technically, when I had gotten that whole activation download about the spiders and all that stuff, that was still officially on Thursday. That happened to me when I started having the symptoms you just described. Then I was like, usually for me, when I have these incredible headaches, that's how spirit usually says, Pamela, I need you to go meditate because I need you to shut off your logic so you can get this download. Will you please? And that's usually what that means. So when I have those types of sensations, I'll usually try to make it work out where I can go into meditation. And when I did, then all of a sudden, so much just, wow, understanding came in. And then that evening, it was still the day before the 7/7 portal, so it was still Thursday for me, was when this thing about the Nephilim came up. And I was like, bing, dude, I just started to get some of this information. And so really cool. The Nephilim stuff, by the way, I don't know how many of you know this, but my first near-death experience was when I was 4 years old, and I came back knowing some things. And there's a couple of things. It's like landmarks. You need to just know you're about to cross, like mile marker. You're about to cross an area, and you're getting to where your destination is. And one of those mile markers is when we, as a collective consciousness, exit out all of the Nephilim energy. And I've been waiting for that for years and years and years, like a lot of decades. I've been waiting for today. And I'm so stoked that we're here. We are really freaking here. That's so cool. RT Home. Hi, Pamela. Thanks for another video. The no has been really up for me. Yep. I woke up to dishonest/narcissistic patterns with fam and friends. It's like, where the heck was I during the decades of this? Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I know. It's weird, right? All of a sudden you're like, I don't know how I tolerated this before. Why was this okay last time? Or all of those times. I used to say, I'll put up with things that I'm not okay with for 3 years because I noticed a pattern for myself. By the third year, I'll finally say, you know what? Because I'll say, I'm not really okay with it, but I guess I could. And I'll explain why I can suffer and go ahead and do the thing I don't want to do. I'm done. And so are you. And I'm so happy for that. Rick, thank you so much for your donation. I really appreciate it. That is so beautiful. Greatly appreciate you. I appreciate you too. There's so So much of you out right now that are just connecting. By the way, hey, if anyone has the availability to go to Houston the beginning of December, I'm going to be a speaker for at the Fest. Solstice. That's funny. It's pre-solstice. It's the 8th, 9th, and 10th of December. I don't know if tickets are available yet or not, but it just kind of giving you something to consider. I would love to meet all of you and like be in a connection in the same place. There's a large amount of acreage that we'll just have this gathering. Now there's a stage. When there's not people that are scheduled to go up on stage, the mic will be open, like an open mic kind of thing. People on this awakening journey. I'm just really excited about it, so that'll be fun too. And actually, it's this family that I'm connecting with to do this Nephilim release later today. Empath Q8444. Hi, how are you? Huge fan. Been feeling always heart palpitations these few days. When would it end? Okay. I would say that when I get heart palpitations, I'm like, oh, cool, thank you. And I put my hands up and I take it in gratitude. And when I do that, the heart palpitations fade. The more that I did that, the more that they stopped. And I think that the part of the heart palpitations is when we're resisting it. First, it'll happen. There's one more thing before. I don't want to confuse anyone. There's also an occurrence of heart palpitations that occur when we're healing, when we're doing transmutation and we're doing like intense healing. Our body will heat up or cool off in certain areas while we're having heart palpitations. And so these are actually good in those moments. We're like, yes, we're healing. This is awesome. We're doing self-healing. It's called auto-healing. As well as we're getting energies that are assisting us. We're becoming more able to give consent, because we are now taking away, we've now taken away the window of assumed consent. Now that we're all online just enough to know what's happening, to have an idea of what's going on, then we can say, you know what, no. And so because of that, because now we are consenting, when you choose to consent to a healing, to this healing as it's coming in, so the palpitations, thank you for this healing. Thank you for this upgrade, whatever you want to call it. I don't usually call it anything, but I say thank you for this gift. And then it'll like swell up and then calm. And then there's this euphoric state, like, like it is so cool. And so allowing yourself to do that, it takes away the stress and the concern about it. It's something that I've done anyway. It's something worth considering trying out. Thank you for your question. Thank you for explaining this, as Angie. You're welcome. Thank you. And let's see. I do need to get going in just a second here. I'm just going to catch a couple more questions. Do the heart palpitations feel like squeezing? Because it felt like my chest was squeezing. Like it's stifling your breath, kind of squeezing, or your heart felt like it was being squeezed. I've not had this sensation of it feeling, if that's what you're talking about. I've felt it like in fact, there's been times where I've not even really noticed that my heart was beating as fast as it was until I noticed it beating somewhere else in my body. It's like, whoa, that is intense. What's going on? I would say that the first few times when I immediately go to that place of fear with it, like, oh no, then it starts to hurt. And then I would breathe through it and be like, no, we don't need to do that. Calm yourself down, Pamela. Just breathe through it. When we breathe through it, we find our own balance. We return to our balance, and then we're able to walk away from the fear part of it. So I don't know if that explains or answers your question at all. My heart felt like being squeezed at night. Does anyone else have this experience of the heart being squeezed? I mean, I do know that if there is any concern or reason for concern, then to definitely, if you have a doctor you can talk to check in with the doctor. I mean, not check in, but like get an EKG, I think is what they're called. I always mix them up, EEG and EKG, but the one for the heart, and to be sure that you're that way you can know and you can have that reassurance that you're okay. I saw a comment about heart a second ago. Um, Spiritual warrior, yeah, heart palpitations and chest pains here, just tension. Been checked out by the family doctor, and my heart is fine. Not the heart squeezing, no. Sometimes pressure that does go away. Um, so there's that. Thank you for your answer, spiritual warrior. I don't feel like there's any reason for you to be concerned. This is just me energetically reading into you from this far distance and all the barriers that we have here. So I don't feel like that there's a reason for you to be concerned about your heart, though I do get the understanding that there's more need to ground and to connect to Gaia. If you've been able to do any kind of grounding like meditation, I have a meditation that I posted that's meant for grounding, that I posted in my YouTube channel recently. There was a group meditation that I had done that I just posted for people to use later on. That will assist you in some of this. I also posted the meditation that, and if any of you missed it on Friday, that I led on Friday, the 7/7 portal meditation. It was a group meditation. We did it at our group meeting. I posted that in the Telegram group too, and I believe I pinned it in the Telegram group so you can find it really easily. Um, these resources and others like that. This is just what I have provided, but anything that helps, it's like a grounding meditation to assist you to move down to Gaia, connect to Gaia, will assist in balancing out the rhythm. As soon as I start to do that, the more mellow I became, the more accessible these energies became. It becomes just like it's in your nature to do it. You have these skills. That's why you're one of the volunteers of the 3 waves, is that you are able to. You are already prepared. You are capable beings of light. You are mighty. You are strong. And we are many. And it is finally time. I love you all. I do have to go. Please don't give up. Keep on. What this journey, this part of the journey is the best part. Like, we're getting past all the density right now. I know. So it doesn't feel like the best part for some of you. We're like, we are truly right here. Keep connecting. Keep allowing yourself to move that energy out, to connect with Gaia, connect with God, connecting with the place of the earth within. You'll find that is your connection to a lot of the other things, that AT like stuff as well in the galactic world. So I love you all so much, and I'll see you next Sunday. Aho blessings.